Okay, so over the past 6 months, I haven't missed a single 4:30 to 6 a.m. wake up time except one last week where my alarm didn't go off. I've been taking cold showers daily, I've been going to the gym daily, haven't missed a single session. And in general, I've just been working extremely hard on my business. Now, last weekend, I felt pretty burned from pushing myself that hard for that long. And so I allowed myself some slack to take a step back, catch up on some anime, which then turned into 8 hours of binge watching anime and then binge eating food. So after that, I felt extremely unmotivated. I pretty much had no desire to be working on my business. My self-talk was just negative, and this string of being that way dragged on for about 2 days, even though the months prior I kept feeling great and I was constantly executing on extremely high level. So why does that happen? So this is because of dopamine, where our brain is pretty much always prioritizing for whatever gets the most dopamine. It thinks in ones and zeros of this gives more dopamine than this thing, so I prioritize this thing. And the problem is that whatever gives us the most dopamine nowadays very rarely aligns with what gives us the most progress. Without going too deep here, I was essentially acting out of alignment with my higher self and the standards that I set for myself. And that then resulted in the consequence of me having negative self-talk. You see, we don't just build up karmic debt by doing bad things, we also build it up by not living in alignment with our highest self. This is why very few people progress in life or not nearly at the rate that they would like. They're constantly building up small pieces of karmic debt along the way that is stopping them from actually pushing through to that next level. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it, but essentially we sacrifice for our goals, or the goal becomes the sacrifice. The easiest way to fix this is to make the thing that makes us progress the most be the thing that gives us the most dopamine. And how we do this is we keep removing things from our life one at a time to the point where eventually we land on something that is congruent, that is conductive for our goals, and then we double down on that thing. This is, for me, particularly writing content, but also these videos are quite good, where I am spreading knowledge, I'm learning things, and from there it is very easy for me to do. It is the highest dopamine thing that I can be doing that is productive, and so it aligns well. The downside with that is that you have to give up certain things that give you more dopamine, like video games, like shows. However, this is kind of important to be fixing anyways, because our brain will direct the most brain power to the thing that generates the most dopamine. This is why, for example, if you play a lot of World of Warcraft or whatever it is that you might be doing, or chess, for example, is something I used to play a lot, you start to direct all of your brain energy to fixing chess problems rather than business problems. And so you want to make sure that your main thing that you're progressing in, or that you want to progress in, is also the main thing that you are focusing on that generates the most dopamine for you, because then your subconscious will start to fix the problems that you're having in that area automatically. If you're occupying your brain with a bunch of different things, then it's going to be very difficult to progress, because essentially you're just doing the movement, you're just going through the reps rather than being creative and coming up with solutions to your problems, making your progress very much linear rather than an exponential process, which it could be. Now, one major source of dopamine that is simply unavoidable is food. And so this is why we kind of want to very carefully plan the way we eat our food. The best foods to be eating throughout the day to not spike your dopamine that much is to eat high fat, high protein foods, and then keep those during the day, keep small meals, and just delay your first meal as long as possible. And then after training, you can have some carbohydrates, and especially in the evening, you can eat more carbohydrates, things which will spike your dopamine more. One trick that you can use to enhance the dopamine that you're getting from your work is by kind of bundling it up with a few different stimulants and things that you're enjoying. So an example of that would be listening to non-vocal music. So for example, I've been listening to a lot of drum and bass while working. That can be very beneficial. And then some other things that you can be doing is drinking caffeine, which a lot of people are doing. There is a big downside in terms of gut health, in terms of anxiety. There are a lot of signs that for a lot of people, they would be better off quitting that. Nicotine is another one, which obviously is highly addictive, but can be very beneficial in getting a lot of work done. And then there's a few other options. One important crux with this is that I don't want to tell you to just cut out all of the things that you enjoy in life. It's just to cut out the things that give you more dopamine, right? So There are a lot of good habits that we want to be integrating because we have to adhere to the law of rhythm. We can't consistently be at 100%. As humans, we're always going to be up and down and up and down and up and down. It's just the natural way of doing things. This is why the trick here is to essentially replace our bad habits with good habits, like going to the sauna, reading more, meditating, things of this nature which still relax you. Make sure that you're getting high quality sleep, that you're eating high quality foods. Just ensuring that your recovery is as great as it possibly can, getting in social activity, making sure that you're still recovering. That is going to allow you to consistently perform at a high level for long periods of time. I've been doing these things for a very long time. They make staying focused, staying motivated very easy. So highly recommend you to work on this, implement it, and then I'll see you in the next video. Hope this helps.